Happy morning to everyone. Welcome to my channel Biotech Info, and today we are going to know about the gymnosperms. Gymnosperms, it is a connecting link between the pteridophytas and the angiosperm. And who coined the word the gymnosperms for the first time is Theophrastus. Theophrastus also said that all the plant species which is consisting of or which is going to produce the seeds are coming under one category that is called as Spermatophyta. That Spermatophyta is subdivided into two categories, that is angiosperms and gymnosperms. Then what is a unique feature that in gymnosperms we are going to observe is the seeds are going to be naked. They are not going to be covered by any of the ovary wall, right? And why it is going to be happen is because in gymnosperm seeds are going to be developed, seeds are going to be produced, but there is no any formation of the fruit or the fruit wall. And now let us know about the general characteristic features of the gymnosperm. The first one is ovule is exposed, not covered by the ovary wall. Why it is not going to be covered by an ovary wall? Because that is a unique characteristic features that we are going to see in the gymnosperm. Why it is going to happen? Because it is in the gymnosperms you are not going to see the development of the fruit. There is no any development of the fruit wall. That's why it is exposed to the external environment. It is not going to be covered by the ovary wall. The second one is in which climatic conditions these particular plant species are going to be survive, means they are going to be survive in an environment where there is very cool regions like Himalayas, and also there are certain species which we are going to call it as an endemic species, which is confined to one particular area, which is restricted to one particular area, where we are going to observe this one is Cycas bourdamini, which is going to be observed only in the Seshachalam or the Tirumala hills. There are certain species in other localities also which is confined to that particular or restricted to that particular areas, right? And also these where we can see the cycas trees means mostly in the Tirumala hills we can see. These plants can survive in asgaric condition. Asgaric condition, availability of water is less also. These plants are going to survive. But only one thing is the climate should be very cool. That's why we are going to call these plants as an xerophytic nature, or they are going to adopt for the asgaric conditions. Right, they are most primitive seed plants. What is this one? Most primitive seed plants are observing an evolution in the formation of the spores. So these are the first plants where we can see the seed formation has taken place. That's why we are going to call this one as an primitive seed plants. And also gymnosperms vascular plants. Why we are calling these are vascular plants? Because we can here we can observe the formation of the vascular tissue, the development of vascular tissue we can observe very clearly in this particular gymnosperm. That's why we are calling these are the primitive seed plants, but it is consisting of a vascular tissue. Vascular tissue means what? A tissue which is responsible for the conduction and transportation of the water and the food material to all parts of the plant body. So here in this particular plant species, the vascular tissue has developed where we can see the xylem and phloem. But there are certain exceptions. What are those exceptions? In xylem, the vessels, in phloem, the companion cells are absent in this particular gymnosperms, right? And next here what happens is exceptional to certain species I told. What are those species means? The Gnitum, Ephedra and Welwitschia. Gnitum, Ephedra and Welwitschia are the three plant species where we can see this xylem as well as the phloem cells, companion cells are present, and that too they are true vessels, okay? Where we are going to observe the true vessels. Actually the characteristic of the gymnosperm is that they are not going to have the vessels, but they are present in certain species. What are those species? Ephedra, Welwitschia, and also Gnitum. And these vessels are the true vessels. Okay. Now the next one, gymnosperms develop into embryo and seeds not going to develop into fruit. What is the meaning of this one? In gymnosperm, we can see the formation of the seed, but the seed, it's not going to be covered by a fruit wall. Why it is not going to be covered by a fruit wall? Because the development of the fruit is not going to takes place in the gymnosperms. And next one is, what is the how that vascular bundles are arranged? Means they are arranged in one pattern. What is that pattern? In simply we can say it as CC Evo. What is the meaning of the CC Evo? Means this is a pattern how that vascular bundles are arranged in the gymnosperm. What is that one? Conjoint, collateral, endark and open. What is that one? Conjoint, collateral, endark and open. What is the meaning of this one? Right. Now here see, when you are taking out of the section of the monocot stem or a dicot stem or a monocot root or a dicot root, we are going to observe under the microscope that the vascular bundles are arranged. In some of the stems, we are going to observe they are arranged in the form of a ring like this. And in some other plant species, we can see that they are scattered. They are scattered, right? Now, we are going to call this one as conjoint and collateral. These vascular bundles, which are like a xylem and phloem, if the xylem, some plant species, it is consisting that the xylem is towards the outside and phloem is towards the inner side of the pith region or the cambium region. And in some species, what is going to happen is, you know, that the cambium strip is present in between the xylem and phloem. If that is going to be used completely for the formation, then you are going to call that one as a closed one. If the cambium strip is present in between the xylem and phloem, then you are going to call that one as an open. If they are arranged in one particular radii, then you are going to call that one as a conjoint, collateral and endark inside, and it is open because you can see the strip of the cambium. If the strip of the cambium is absent, then you are going to call that one as a conjoint, collateral, endark and closed also. Like that, here the pattern of this particular gymnosperms is conjoint, collateral, endark and open, where you can see the cambium strip. Cambium strip, if it is present, then we have to, what you can say, we have to get into our mind, we have to recollect, we have to get back the point that if the cambium is present, secondary growth is going to be observed. Secondary growth means what? The texture of the plants will be woody. What is that one? Texture of the plant will be woody. Like a rose plant, if you are seeing, it is consisting of woody structure, right? And mostly the gymnosperms are trees and few shrubs are there. In that, one example is ephedra. What is the example? Ephedra. Ephedra plant species is having two characteristics. What is the first one? It is consisting of the true vessels. Second one is what? It is coming under the shrubs category, right? The next one is, in the life cycle, we can see the alternations of the generations, that is the N as well as the 2N stages. That here in the gymnosperm, the dominant phase is a sporophyte, that is a diploid one. Next one is, most of the plant body of this gymnosperms consisting of the root, stem and leaves. Means here we can see that a clear cut distinction of the plant parts is going to be observed. And next one is coming to the point of root. Let us start from root. Taproot system. See here, this particular plant is consisting of the taproot system. And here two are there. What is that one? Microhexae as well as a coralloid roots. What is this one? What is meant by this terms? Means microhexae, a root with a fungal association. If in particular plant species called as an pinus. What is that one? Pinus. These are very tall trees. It is consisting of the roots, but they are not consisting of the root hairs. Actually, what is that? It is consisting of the roots, but root hairs are not developed, or in some species of the pinus, we can even say that the root hairs are not developed properly. Then how they are going to get the nutrients? Means for that sake only they have adopted, they have gone with another association that is called as a fungal association, which is otherwise going to be called it as mycorrhiza. In which species we are seeing this one? In pinus. Very tall trees, no root hairs, so symbiotic association with the fungus, that's why it is going to be called it as mycorrhiza. Means what? The fungus is going to be providing certain nutrients, and in return the plant is going to provide the shelter to this fungus. That's why we are going to call that root as a mycorrhizal roots which are present in pinus. And you know that Christmas tree, which is also going to be coming under this pinus plant species only. Coralloid root. Coralloid root means what? Here the cycas, which I said you that it is going to be present or confined to one particular restricted areas. That cycas root association, we are going to call it as a coralloid root. And this coralloid root is forming because of the association with the bacteria. In pinus, with the fungus, mutual understanding or symbiotic association. Now here in the coralloid root with the bacteria, and also what for what purpose this it is going to have an association? Means it is going to get the nitrogen with the help of the bacteria. It is helping to get the nitrogen, which is a nutrient which is required for the plant to grow. Now, cycas is having the two types of the root, the taproot as well as a coralloid root. What is that one? Two types of the roots are present. Taproot is present, and also the coralloid roots. If there is a lack or deficiency of the nitrogen for the growth of the cycas plant, then they are going to have the coralloid roots, and it is going to take the help of a bacteria for fixing the atmospheric nitrogen. And next one, stem. It is an unbranched and a branched. There are two types are there, branched as well as an unbranched. Means what? Means for example, if you are taking the Cocos nucifera, there you can see the there is no any branches for that. And if you are taking the Ficus bengaliensis, then you can see the branches like that only. In this particular species, there are certain plants which are branched, and some other plants are there which are unbranched. And next one, stem. We have discussed root, we have finished. Then leaves, simple leaf and a compound leaf. See, the leaf, we are saying a flattened part, green part, which is going to be called it as lamina. If the lamina is going to be divided into a pinna, then you are going to call that one as a compound leaf, which you are going to see in the tamarind plant, right? And if the lamina is not going to be divided, then you are going to call it as a simple leaf, right? Simple leaf and a compound leaf. Compound leaf means what? The leaf is going to, the leaf lamina is going to be divided into small sections, which you are going to call it as a pinna. And this pinna, if it is an odd and even leaflets, then you are going to call it as an imparipinnate and as well as a paripinnate. Next one is coniferous. Coniferous plants are coming under this gymnosperms, which is having a needle-like leaves. Why this particular coniferous is going to have a needle-like leaves means, if the leaves are very straight and needle-like, they will avoid the surface area, one thing. And also thick cuticle is present. You can see in the Christmas trees also thick cuticle is present, and they are coniferous-like. Why they are going to have this coniferous type of that one is to avoid the water. Means they don't want to have the water loss from the leaves. That's why the cuticle is very stiff, very tough, and also the sunken stomata will be there to avoid the water loss from the leaves, so that they can survive even in the sgeric condition. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and click the bell icon to get the notifications related to the 11th and 12th NEET syllabus. And also Sequoia sempervis, it is the tallest gymnosperm. And how many feet it is there? You know, 366 feet. And also we can even remember in a shortcut that what is the arrangement of the vascular bundles in the gymnosperms means CCEO we are saying. Then you can simply say that CEO of C company. What is that one? CEO of the C company. Thank you.